Rob Cesternino, Pooya Zambakili here to talk with a man who was robbed from us when the traitors took him out. Jeremy
Robbed
Collins.
is right. I was
Yes.
robbed.
Yes. Jeremy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's going on, brother?
Jeremy, we saw you in the casket. You said, if you save me, I'll work with you. Was that a serious offer?
It wasn't serious. I was just trying to stay in the game. I don't know, I was just throwing a Hail Mary, don't, swinging for the fences. I was doing anything I could to stay in the show. And I knew I had a lot of work to do. If I got back in, I would have I would have a lot of conversations to be had to try to fix this. But at least I was still in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really did feel like a Hail Mary to me that you were like, listen, I'm just trying to survive the night. I'll deal with the repercussions of what I'm saying tomorrow. And for a second there, I felt like what you said held a lot of weight. Were you genuinely expecting to be nailed in the coffin that night?
I don't know. I didn't think that Sierra was gonna be nailed. I thought Sierra was a traitor actually. After she said, we're gonna find you. I'm like, geez, you're not even trying to save yourself. She's a traitor. And so I knew it was me and Nikki, and we kind of gave similar responses. I don't know. It was 50-50. I will say this. As soon as I got out the casket and I went for an interview, I said to myself, you know what I should have said? I should have said, I don't say much, but I did say one name. If I'm gone, that name is a traitor, and I was thinking that. But then again, if Danielle wasn't a traitor, and then they would have voted me out anyway. So it was hard. It was a tough sledding. I just opened my mouth too much. I should have brought it down a little bit.
Yeah, we saw how you found out, or you felt like that it was Danielle. What were you getting from Danielle that made you so confident that she was one of the traitors?
I tell you, I said to Derek, if Danielle was acting kind of funny anyway. She was crying and like little things like that I didn't really believe. And I believe women that cry. I do. I always, in Survivor, I women would cry and I would believe them, and they'd be lying to me. But
like
she was
Kimmy.
crying, I didn't believe it. And I said to Derek, exactly like Kimmy, Kimmy, exactly, but she would do it and I didn't believe it. And then I said to Derek, if Danielle asks you for a shield, she's a traitor because she doesn't need one. She's not in any danger. Nobody's bringing her up. And I felt like I was good. I had two people said my name the first time, and I felt I was good. I almost told Wes, don't give me the shield. I don't need it. Give it to someone that needs it. So I was like, if she asked for it, she's a traitor, So it was a lot of different things like that kind of tipped me off to her.
On the other side of the coin, it looked like two of the other traitors you seem to feel okay with. What was it about Carolyn and Bob the drag queen that you felt decent about?
So Carolyn she's a survivor. From day one, I was like, come here, Carolyn, we're on the same page. We could work together. There was one time I was talking to her that I said, Carolyn, the person you are is a beautiful person. Don't let anyone change you. Just you play your game. I know you're wacky and all that. You lean into that and play your game. Don't stop who you are. Cause she was like, nobody listens to me and this and that. And I was like, yo, who cares about them?
Yeah.
It's us. You know what I mean? I thought we had a good thing going. Bob, I will say, when Dorinda got voted out, Bob comes in to the dining room, never looks up at the board. And I'm watching him and he never looks up and he's all dramatic and everything. And I'm like, got one. He's a traitor. Got one, guys. And then I talked to him for 5 minutes and I'm like, yo, that's my brother. My brother, my twin brother he's gay, very dramatic, flamboyant, ridiculous, just like Bob. And I was like, yo, that's Bob. It's just like Josh. He's not a traitor. That's just who he is. He's just a lot, And I wish I didn't think like that because I could have had two of them, man. That would have been crazy.
Yeah. So we saw last week when you really go to bat for Tony, and I thought that was such a amazing, dramatic moment, especially where you're all emotional talking about Tony and your history. But you go to bat for Tony, but Tony ends up getting banished, and he says to Boston Rob, "You're a sellout, bro."
And he cried. You see him crying?
Yeah. Okay. Did Tony have a point?
All right, so Boston Rob is, I wouldn't say sellout. Boston Rob's a selfish player. Like we could have had something really good, and he doesn't play nice with others. You know what I mean? Like he just doesn't want to share his toys. He wants to be in charge, and he did in Survivor. He does it. He does it in every show he's in, and I know that. And going into the game, I didn't want to see him out there because of that. And we left Survivor. We didn't ever have any communication. So I didn't know how we ended it up. But I know how he plays, and that's who he is. So I wouldn't say sellout. He's just like, he wants to be the man. You know what I mean? Like that's who he is.
And I know you weren't there for the banishment ceremony last night, but I'm sure you watched how it played out. Did you have any thoughts on Bob versus Boston Rob at the banishment ceremony as a viewer?
I mean, I wouldn't have gone against drag queen Bob. Bob is crazy when he gets the mic in his hand. He's just a lot. Like you saw what he did to Dylan. He tore Dylan to shreds. It was ugly. You didn't see it all on TV. Like it was ugly. So for Rob to go at him, like good stuff, but again, when Boston Rob has all the information and has power, he is dangerous. But when you take a little power from him, he's not the same person. I tell you what, I'll give you a little quick story. Me and Michelle Fitz, we got Ethan, and we took Ethan out. Rob came over to us. We were sitting in the water on the rocks, and he came over to us like hat in hand. Like he was like, please, please, miss, can I have a taste of your coconuts? You know what I mean? It was bad. It was really bad. And he walked away, and me and Michelle was like, do you see this? Like, what happened to this guy? And that's who he is. Like when he has the power, he's really strong. But if you take a little power from him, he's just a little kitten.
Well, how did you feel when you saw him up in the cages and he was getting re-entered back in after thinking, okay, it's done, he's not coming to the game?
I don't know. I mean, we kind of all talked about it a little bit and kind of figured he would be back at some point. Yeah, I don't know. Like it wasn't a big deal. Like, okay, he's going to be in the game. Like now that he's going to be in the game, I need him to work with me. But like I hope he didn't expect one of us to go and shake Alan's hand to get him in the game in the first place. I hope that, like he's saying, like, he's revenge, but like, come on, like are we really gonna do that and go take somebody else out to get him in the game and put a target on us now? Like, come on, that's crazy.
So Jeremy, obviously you knew all the Survivor people. Did you have any familiarity with any of these other people that were in the castle with you guys before you played on the show?
No, I didn't know anybody. I will say I knew Nikki because my wife watched her show.
Okay.
So I went to her and I was like, I know you, you know what I mean? But other than that, like I was talking to Brittany to be like, Brittany, like, who's this? Who's that? He was with Britney Spears. Like, I was like, it was a lot. She was like, oh, I can't wait to tell you about this one. This person did this person. So I didn't know anybody. Like everybody's new to me. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, I don't know.
What about Derek? Derek is a Boston guy.
Except for Derek. I know Derek. So that's when we first got there. So after when Rob and Derek and Wes come down, I do know Derek. Derek, I had when he had a show, he did one show when he had a watch party in Rhode Island. I went to that. I met him there, and like me and Derek are good. Me and Derek are cool. I love him. I love that guy. He's I hope he goes far.
Jeremy, one of my favorite moments with you was that whole afternoon where Bob the drag queen's name is being put out there and you go to tip him off and Tony's there shoveling food in and he instigates, go talk to them.
Yeah.
Can you run me through what was going on in your mind when all that fireworks was about to happen?
So at that point, Dylan was like on Raw Bob the Drag Queen, and he comes in and like I hear them going at it. So I run in and I see him. I was like, "Yo, they're after you." And he's like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Yo, just listen to what I'm saying." And I said, I'm not trying to tell you how to play your game, but don't go run back over there. Like, just let it slip. Let's let it slide a little bit and like let it marinate. Like, let's see what we got. And he wouldn't listen. He's like, "No, blah blah blah," and he's gone. And then Tony's like, "Yo, what are you doing, Jeremy?" And I'm like, "What, man? Like, we need him, man. He's supposed to be with us." So I'm trying to spread our alliance. Let everybody know, like, yo, we're together. Like, if someone says your name, I got your back. You know what I mean? And I did have his back. Like, what is he doing? He's so stupid. Like, stay with me, man. I got you.
You know, you and Tony, you know, certainly like you talked about how, you know, he broke your heart in Winners at War. After this experience together, are you and Tony in a good place now?
Listen, me and Tony were in a good place before. Like, he did break my heart, but a lot of people on Winners at War were like, they voted. If they tried to get me out and they missed this shot, they were mad. And I'm like, why y'all mad? Like, y'all should be, don't laugh at that. Why y'all mad? Like, you should be like, this is a game. Like, just chill out. Like, they were really like genuinely upset that I was still there.
Yeah.
Tony was never like that. Tony was like, it's all a game, blah, blah, blah. So me and Tony were always good. Even this game, even Traitors, like everybody, it's a game. Like, I'm not mad at anybody. Like, it's a game. If you're mad that you didn't get me out, yo, that's the problem with you. And if you have a problem, then like, I'll let you have that problem. I'm not dealing with you.
My one other question, Jeremy, is that you clearly clocked Danielle after, you know, some of the crying that wasn't really crying. Were there any attempts on your end to try and talk to her, maybe make her feel comfortable with you after you had thought this?
Pooya, that's really good, because there was a few times when I would see her walk down the hall, and me and Danielle, we were really good. We would talk all the time, and I did see that, oh, we weren't good anymore because we weren't talking, and that is a slip up that I made, that I should have gone to her, and because I know that was another reason why I thought she was a traitor, because she wasn't dealing with me anymore. She wasn't talking to me, so I was like, I should have, you know, went to her and, you know, I don't know. I should have talked to her a little bit more once I kind of threw out that she was a traitor. I mean, lesson learned. It was tough, yo. It was a tough run. And
could you have been a traitor?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. In my mind, I could be, but I tell you what, when you're sitting around that round table and that music comes on, that the Hunger Games song comes on, yo, it's a lot. And like, you grab your water, you take an extra sip. It's a lot. It's worse. It's worse than tribal council.
Yeah. Okay.
It's worse than tribal council. It's tough.
Jeremy, I know we got to go. It's been a tough couple of weeks between the Traitors and losing to me in fantasy. I know it's
wow,
it's tough, but you'll be fine, Jeremy. Okay.
That did hurt. That did hurt. I was only like 4 points away from at least getting the so scoring title. I will say this. Listen, congratulations. You had a really, really good year. You lost your #1 pick and you still pulled it out. I applaud you. That was really good.
Jeremy, I know you got to run. Thank you so much and all the best. And I hate this boot order.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Later, buddy. Bye.